Hello, my beautiful, beautiful friend. Have you been feeling the overwhelm? Have you been feeling just down in the dumps, hot mess mom, out of control kind of life? Let me talk to you. I've been a mess. I've been depressed. I've been overwhelmed. I've been to the bottom of the pits. I almost ended my life because, quote, motherhood got to be too much. But I realized a few things. For one, home management is not equivalent to motherhood. You can suck at one while excelling at the other. Okay, girl? I already had everything I needed to see the good in life in order to succeed, in order to thrive and find absolute joy, and so do you. You can be the calm in the storm. You can set the energetic tone for those around you, for your entire household. You hold more power than you've ever realized. You don't have to do anything. You get to. It is your privilege. It's an honor. It's a divine responsibility to be the queen of your home. It's not a burden. You're in charge. You're the ruler. You're the chaos coordinator. You're in control of how you show up in your own life, and you are the main character of your own story. You are surrounded by abundant blessings, not buried in burdens. You are in the exact right place, mama. You're the exact right mom for your kids. It's not a mistake that you were put together on this planet. Of all the moms across all time and space, it's your destiny, your legacy to be with that child. You have to stop. We have to stop this mommy martyrdom narrative. Misery loves its company, but so does excitement and joy. So let's get excited about motherhood again, about life. It's time for more than survival mode. It's time to rise. It's time to thrive. It's time for you to believe to your core that you are meant to bloom.
Hello, beautiful. I'm so happy to see you here. Okay, I can't see you. I see me, my own reflection. Hello, beautiful. We should talk to ourselves like that a lot more often. How often do you walk past a mirror and say, hello, beautiful? I want you, next time you pass a mirror, next time you walk into your bathroom, just to say, hello, beautiful to the mirror. I don't care if you believe it. We're going to do that. That's our new habit. If you take nothing from this episode, take that. Take that. Talk to yourself differently. Talk to yourself better. How do you greet your best friend? Okay, I don't know if how do you greet a good friend? Not your best friend, your good friend. Okay, because I know sometimes our best friends kind of get into this they, they get so close to us that we talk to them the way we talk to ourselves, and call them names and haze them instead of being kind and gentle towards them. And it's like that's our love language. It's bullying each other, which is super like unhealthy on a psychology level, on a subconscious level. It's really unhealthy. But I do know yeah, I've had friends like that I've definitely fallen into that with. And really, it's not good for you if you talk to your friends that way and you talk to yourself that way. But that's why I really, really want to get into the nitty gritties of today is how you talk to yourself. And not just like the thoughts you allow, but are you your own best cheerleader? Or are you like constantly sabotaging yourself? Like, oh, I don't believe in you. I really don't believe in you. You're ugly. You're fat. I don't believe in you. You're never going to achieve your dreams. What is the voice that you are contributing in your head? I'm not talking about the negative, like intrusive thoughts that come in and they're just like, you're worthless, because you couldn't get dinner made at 6 p.m. tonight and, it was chicken nuggets and whatever. Like, not that voice that's constantly like nagging at you that you have to slam the door on, the thoughts you have to allow to come through, the thoughts you have to like provide evidence against. I'm not talking like negative thoughts. I'm talking the voice that you actually contribute, like your conscious reaction to perceived failures. Um, that's what I want us to think about today a little bit. How can you be a better friend to yourself? How do you greet yourself when you walk by the mirror? That's a good place to start. And I'm not here to say like you have to think that you're the most beautiful person in the world. You have to absolutely love the exact size of your body right now. You can't go changing yourself. Don't dye your hair. Don't. I'm not here for that. But what I'm here to say is any change you make to your body, yourself, inside or outside, needs to come from a place of love, or you're not going to get the outcome that you are looking for. It needs to come from a place of love and acceptance. Okay. So sometimes I really feel like we get caught up in thinking, like, how can I be better? How can I do better? It's like a survival instinct trying to constantly kind of progress and do things better and notice when something went wrong so that we don't end up dead over it. It's survival, it's lizard brain. Um, and that's okay that that's there, but I think we need to be really conscious of it and we need to know when to silence it because as a human race, we are no longer in survival mode. We are beyond an industrial age and this is the future. um, Survival is more or less pretty easy for us these days compared to when your caveman brain was developed and said we need to do everything possible to not get eaten by wild beasts. We've got a lot of precautions for that now. We have a lot of safety warnings, a lot of, infrastructure in place to keep us from being eaten by wild beasts. So in your day to day, trying to achieve of goals and whatnot, we don't really need to lean into that survival part of our brain. It's time to grow the part of our brain that wants to thrive and discover and invent and be creative and find actual peace and joy in life. You hear me? Okay. So that voice, I feel like right? Like in the personal development realm of things, you start to get this idea of I'm progressing and I'm getting better. But then I think that kind of survival brain kind of comes out and is like, oh, you didn't progress well enough here. You didn't achieve this goal you had. And then it starts to, spin out of control with the fight or flight. And it's like, it's not that big of a deal. You forgot to drink lemon water before your coffee today. You forgot to eat food until 2 p.m. Like you're living off of coffee, you didn't get enough sleep, all these types of things. Like it's not that big of a deal that, you quote unquote failed that today. Start again tomorrow. It's fine. Come at it from a place of love and grace, not a place of like discipline and self hate and like, I have to change or I'm never going to love myself. Because if you don't love yourself now and then you change into who you think you want to be, you're still not going to love yourself because who you are is someone who doesn't love yourself. What needs to change first is how you talk to yourself, how you treat yourself, how you love yourself. Then everything else becomes easier, becomes a piece of cake. Like, seriously, it's kind of like when you're a child and your parents want to ask you to do something. If you have like a really authoritative parent who's like forcing you to clean your room and it's a really toxic environment and it feels bad and you don't want to do it, like, it makes it harder to do it because now you have all these emotions that are like, I just don't even want to do it. This sucks. I hate this. And you're all negative. But if you have a parent that comes in and they like lovingly help, or, they offer a reward for when it's clean, they remind you how good it feels to have it clean. It really boosts the mentality of, yeah, I do want to do this. Or even if you have a boss, if you have a boss that you're happy to please, like, yes, I want to do this project for you, boss, because you're always so appreciative when I do it, versus a boss who's like, I expect you to do what I tell you to do and is mean about it. It's like, even if the compensation is exactly the same, the attitude of who's asking you to do something really impacts how well you're going to do it. It's the same with yourself when you tell yourself to do something. The attitude of the order is going to affect your ability to show up for yourself and how excited you are to show up for yourself. And see, this is something I had to learn when I lived in my old house and I didn't like the house. The place was a mess. I knew that if I took the mentality I had when I lived there from about 3 years ago and moved that here to this perfect dream house, I would have been the same person who's constantly finding faults around me. I would still be the same person who hates my home, even though I'm in a new, better home. I knew I had to change the way I view my home before I got in the home that I wanted. All right. I learned to love the home that needed a lot of work And now I'm in my dream home and I love it even more, right? Because I learned how to be someone who loves the home that I'm in, right? It's something that I think we really get caught up in when we're trying to progress and get better with that need to improve. And we have failed deadlines and incomplete goals. All right. What I think we need to do is love ourselves completely where we are if we ever want to find peace and happiness. Because here's the thing, you cannot be at war with yourself if you want peace. You have to be at peace with yourself first. It's self love, self compassion, self grace that is going to allow you to have love and compassion and grace for others and your home and your car and your job and the whole world as it is, even though it feels like it's crumbling and it's terrifying sometimes. Love, grace, compassion. These are the building blocks to peace, joy, happiness. They really are. All right. And sometimes I feel like we try to come at things so hard and so aggressively that we forget that, it is the meek who will inherit. We have to come at it from a place of peace. Otherwise, when you get the goal you want, you're still not at peace because that's your habit. All right. Happiness is a habit. Peace is a habit. If you're not in the habit of choosing peace, choosing happiness, when you get what you want, you're still going to be at conflict and unhappy and wanting more. This is just how it goes. Okay. So, what makes a good friend? How can you be a good friend to yourself? All right. So, think of when you're showing up for yourself every day, when you're talking about things in your life, in your head, how would a good friend talk to you? How would a good friend say it to you? How would you treat a good friend? All right. If you're walking through your house and you're just kind of mentally ripping it apart, finding all the negative thoughts, that's being a really crappy friend to yourself, especially when it's not something that can be easily fixed. Okay. Here's one really good rule of thumb for like common decency and etiquette. It is if someone cannot fix something in 30 seconds or less, you do not tell them about it. Right. So, like, this is something I've heard a lot of people teach their children, like going out in public. If someone can't fix something in less than 30 seconds, we don't tell them about it. Like, because otherwise you go through all day knowing, oh, this is, if someone's got toilet paper on their foot, they can fix that. Easy fix. Let them know. Um, that's really helpful. If someone's got a crooked tooth, that's a lot more than a 30-second fix. Do not point out someone's physical flaw that they cannot easily fix, Yeah. So do that to yourself. If you're in someone's house and your paint doesn't match on these two walls, not a great thing to point out. They didn't notice, they didn't notice. It's not going to hurt anything. Yeah, if there's something that's like a danger, you should probably let them know. But a lot of things, it's like you don't point out that the number of dishes in their sink. Like you don't do that. How are you going to treat yourself? How are you going to talk to yourself? Like you're not going to walk into your friend's room. This room should really be vacuumed. If you're not going to pick up the vacuum and do it yourself, don't point it out. Do that in your own head. If you're not going to take care of it, 2-minute rule, if you're not going to take care of it right now, just don't even think about it. You can put it on a secret master to-do list on your phone that you're going to look at later when you have time and energy to do it, but you don't have to go around picking apart every single thing in your house as you're just going through your daily life. Okay, get in the habit of doing that when you're about to have like a kick butt, clean the whole house day, right? So be thinking also about like, do you spend time with yourself? Do you like take yourself out to lunch ever? Do you just simply have lunch in a separate room from your children where it's something you actually want to eat, not just the crust off their sandwiches? What would you serve your friend? Do you give yourself attention and time? Do you talk kindly to yourself when you see yourself in the mirror? Do you give yourself compliments? Because you really should. You're getting dressed in the morning, pick out a shirt you like. Wow, I really love this shirt. This is a really great shirt. I'm so glad I bought this shirt. Boost your, fill that cup of good things that you hear saying good things to yourself. Fill your compliment cup because your brain on autopilot is going to fill up the negative cup on its own. You don't need to go looking for things that are wrong. Your brain will find those on their own. Your survival brain will find the errors, the downfalls, and all those things by itself. What you need to do, what your job is to use your energy to create positivity in your own brain. Don't be, your toxic version. Be your best version. So, how are you currently treating yourself? And how would you ideally treat yourself? Think of those two things, how you currently go ahead and journal on them, jot them down. All right. I've got 3 questions for you, 3 really good ones. Okay. 1, how are you currently treating yourself? I mean, write it down, be in detail, put it on a scale of 1 to 10. And how would you ideally treat yourself? Write it down, journal it out, bullet points, scale of 1 to 10, whatever feels right for you. But think about those 2. And then I want you to think about the gap in between them. What is the difference between these 2? And how can you bridge the gap between how you treat yourself now and how you want to be treating yourself? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated as well. You set the tone, you show other people how to treat you when you are treating yourself. Okay? So I want to share with you a list of 10 things you can do to be a better friend of yourself, better friend to yourself, friend of yourself, friend to yourself. It's friend to yourself, I think. Anyways, 1, you can start talking to yourself like you'd want to be talked to. Compliment yourself and move past the complaints, the internalized complaints that you have. Turn your focus to the positive things about yourself. Be grateful for yourself, huh? Have you ever made a self-gratitude list? If you haven't, you should. You need to. Think about all the things you love about yourself, all the things you're grateful about you and your experiences, your capabilities, your strengths. Okay? This is how we silence the negative voice inside. 2, realize when you're being mean to yourself and stop the thoughts before they turn into feelings. Every time you find yourself tearing yourself down, stop and build yourself back up. It's like a compliment sandwich, If you say something negative to yourself, say 2 positive things back to yourself. All right. And 3, keep your promises. Don't be the friend that bails. Don't be the one that's constantly canceling plans and never showing up. Keep your promises to yourself. When you say you're going to do something, do it. This is one big way to build confidence, and just keep your promises to yourself. It will change your whole life. Don't make promises that you're not going to keep. All right. Be a woman of your word. Number 4, remember that it's okay to change your mind. Okay. But it's not okay to give up. It's not breaking a promise to yourself if you decide that what you were doing isn't right for you. That's actually being authentic to yourself, being very true to yourself. All right. Number 5, practice self-care. Be intentional. Take time to be with yourself, to think about yourself, to take a walk, to take a bath, to read a book. Something that doesn't totally numb you out, like watching TV. Do something that fills your needs on a regular basis. Okay. Number 6, a way to be a good friend to yourself is honestly treat yourself. A real treat yourself day. Don't be afraid to spoil yourself once in a while. You do deserve wonderful, nice things. And if you believe that really nice, wonderful things come to you, sometimes you end up with things for free and you don't actually have to go out and spend money on yourself. Seriously, you can win things for free and consider that spoiling yourself. Number 7 is get to know yourself. Sit down in a quiet place and do some self-reflection. Who even are you? What do you like? What are your dreams and goals? Not what should someone of your age in your position in your lifestyle want or do. What do you actually want? What would you like to do? Who would you like to be? Get to know yourself on a very deep personal level. Number 8, do yourself a favor and pay it forward to yourself. All right. Don't procrastinate the little chores for tomorrow. Cleaning out the sink before bed. Some nights I really hate doing this, but the nights that I do it, I'm always thinking of morning me. Night me is doing morning me a favor by clearing the sink before I head to bed. Pay it forward to yourself. Consider it investing in your future. You can do small things now to make life easier for you later. Consider it an act of kindness. Number 9 is invest in yourself. Invest your time and your money to be the best version of yourself. All right. You can enroll in a course that helps you when you're struggling somewhere. These days, there's courses for everything. Seriously, there's so many things. Like, spend time to Audible, listen to Audible self-help books. Invest in bettering yourself. Invest in that personal care, in self-care, in the development. Spend the time that it takes to declutter or organize your home. Buy that self-help book. I love listening to self-help books on Audible. Like, I love hearing the author tell me in her words. Because otherwise they sound kind of dry when you read them, honestly. Meal plan to save yourself time and stress later this week. All right. Investing in yourself with your time, your energy, your money. Build a better you with the actions you take now. Consider that an act of kindness towards yourself. Number 10, this one is really important. Believe in yourself. Okay. Be your own best cheerleader. Biggest cheerleader. Yeah. Be your own biggest cheerleader. Chase wholeheartedly after your wildest dreams. Believe that you were created for more and that you are capable of fantastic things. Because why not you? All right. Be your own motivational speaker, your own cheerleader. Be your best advocate. Be there for yourself. Keep your word to yourself. Keep your promises. Take time for yourself. Invest in yourself. Pay it forward to yourself. Small acts of kindness. Notice when you're doing something kind for yourself. Notice when you're having a great hair day. Notice when you're wearing a shirt you love. Okay? Compliment yourself. Babe, it's time to be a better friend to yourself. For real.
Are you feeling totally buried in responsibility and burnt out on showing up? Been there, and I created this totally free bundle of resources for you. You have to get the Get Started Guide if you haven't already. If you're ready to strip off the unnecessary baggage and limiting beliefs you've been carrying around, if you are so done making things more difficult than they need to be, if you're ready for guilt-free rest and enjoyment in your life, you need the Get Started Guide. This instant download is full of my favorite resources: the Mindset Makeover, the Stress Less Toolkit, and my super trendy and adorable kitchen templates to make meals and groceries a little bit simpler and a whole lot prettier. The Get Started Guide is made up of tools and practices to help you cope with stress and anxiety. And because so much of your happiness is determined by your mindset, this instant download is what you need to start thinking about the way that you think, so you can overcome what's overwhelming you, take control of your days, and love the life you've got. Get your free download of the Get Started Guide today and get started loving your life. Find it in the description below. And thank you so much for listening to this episode today. Your involvement and your encouragement is so loved and appreciated. If you wouldn't mind doing one or all of the following tiny little favors for me, I would so greatly appreciate it. Okay, 1, if you could make sure that you hit the follow button so you don't miss another episode, that's going to benefit you just as much as it does me, maybe more. Number 2, if you could leave me a review down below, especially if you're listening to Apple Podcasts, that would be so appreciated. Literally, I cry over the reviews that I read. I love them so much. It makes me feel so deeply connected to you, and it helps others find my show by recommending it to new listeners every day. And number 3, Be bold, be brave, don't be stingy. When you know something, it's your responsibility to share it with a friend. So make it easy. Share this episode with a friend. And if you choose to share it on Instagram, can you please tag me? Because I would so love to get connected and to see it at Britt Clarkson. All right. Thanks, friend. Love you so much. Till next time.